Welcome to Communing with Divine, a podcast where I share my spiritual quest and the lessons and the insights that I've received from many divine beings and energies during meditation. I am your host, Meraki. Now, let's begin. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the second season of Communing with Divine, March 9th, 2024. Today I was given a vision. I saw myself connected to the all, and then superimposed over this was the image of one of my lessons about liminal space. It was the lesson where I saw an energy coming into a liminal space, and then a smaller portion of that energy continued on into another space while remaining connected to itself through the membrane of the liminal space and transmitting information about this new space back to the larger part of itself. So a small percentage of the energy went into another space in order to test it out and experience it. And this information was also registered by the larger part of that energy. And then, as a collective energy, they were deciding if this space offered the experience that they were seeking. And this made me realize that we don't necessarily have to accomplish anything. It's the experience. The experience is being transmitted constantly. Well, I use the word transmitted because I can't think of a better way to express how it's shared instantly. Every hunger pain, every moment of joy, every shiver your body experiences, every thought, every single moment, every experience and feeling, it's all being continuously transmitted in real time. Even the things we don't consciously see or process are being transmitted in equal measure with all the things that we do recognize. Why? Because it's all equally important. We are those tentacles. So that particular energy that I observed in the liminal space, that energy was trying to decide whether or not it wanted to experience that particular reality or dimension or whatever you want to call it, that particular space, and whether or not they needed to make any modifications in order to exist within that space. Now, it seems to me that the function we serve is a little bit different, as in our function may be for a different purpose, but the process is the same. To my mind, and from what I understand at this point, each and everything that exists on this earth, every blade of grass, every speck of sand vibrates with the energy of the all, no matter how small that vibration is. And all of what occurs here is instantly transmitted, or rather, more accurately, simultaneously experienced by the all. Actually, I definitely think the second explanation is more accurate, that everything is being simultaneously experienced by the all through our energetic connection, because we are, in truth, one. We may indeed have things that we came down here specifically to accomplish, or maybe not. This is what most of us are taught to believe. Whether or not it's correct, I can't say. But putting that aside, just being here, just existing, shares a complete data set of information that is simultaneously experienced. Everything is shared. And so by just existing, we are fulfilling our soul's purpose, or the purpose of our true self. Our mission is to exist and to experience, period. What the purpose of all of this is, I'll probably never know. Is it because, as I was told before, we are a curious mind? Is it to modify the creation of other worlds and realities? Is it something beyond our ability to process and comprehend? Perhaps there is no purpose other than to exist and experience, even for the all itself. And maybe even beyond that. It's amazing to think about it, isn't it? I can't answer this big question, but I can share my experience and how I perceive it, and maybe one of you will figure it out. I saw these images superimposed. They were very powerful. I saw them very clearly, but I also felt it. I felt the message deeply as I saw the images. I felt the sharing of the data of the experience. I feel myself sharing right now, and I know that what I am not consciously aware of, those things that are around me and part of this experience that I don't notice, are being shared as well. Because the soul experience is all, and the soul or the true self sees all and is aware of all. Even those things that our physical bodies and our conscious minds are not. Because what we don't notice, what we don't feel, what we don't think or do is of equal importance. And this, I believe, is truth. And as I say it, I see the goddess Aletheia suddenly standing in front of me. It is truth. I want to go into a little more detail about the things that we don't notice or don't experience and why they are of equal importance. They may even be of more importance. Who knows? Here's an example of what I mean. It's not very good, but we'll have to go with it. Take the experience of someone who's pushed down by somebody else, and they are hurt. They're lying on the ground. One person walks by, notices them, and keeps walking. Another person notices them and rushes to help. The person who walked past without helping noticed the situation, and therefore they would have felt certain emotions. They may have felt physical things and had specific thoughts. They made a decision and walked on. The person who rushed in to help also experienced all of these things, and they also made a decision. It's the same situation for the person on the ground, and this person may or may not have noticed the person who walked on. Or they may have had an experience that involved both being passed by and being helped. And then you have many other people who by accident or design didn't notice at all. What was so important in their minds? Catching a train or a bus, talking on the phone, sending an email or text, videotaping themselves, selfies, rushing for their own emergency, immersed in their own anxiety, trauma, fear, or pain? What caused them not to even notice that person who was laying on the ground? There are also all of the decisions and actions that led up to that moment of confrontation. What of the other person who knocked that one down? What were their thoughts, feelings, and physical experience? There is so much there, and it's all interconnected, and there's not one aspect of it that is not important. And there are other things to think about too. What did it feel like for this person specifically to fall on the concrete versus what it might feel for another person? What thoughts and feelings did they experience in those split seconds? What would it feel like to fall on grass, in the sunshine, in the darkness, in the rain or the snow? All of it is significant because all of it is unique and all of it is shared. All of it is simultaneously experienced and is all of equal importance. This is what I believe to be true. This is what I believe to be truth. But now, the final decision for you is up to you. April the 3rd, 2024. I'm going to see the goddess Hecate, the goddess Aletheia, and the goddess of the mysteries, who I still call the goddess Mary sometimes because it's easier and she really doesn't mind. I'm walking up to the cliffs with the mighty ones. There seems to be a bit of an incline as you walk up to the cliffs this time, and so the scene is being presented in steps. At first, I can only see the sky, and then I can see a mountain and a cliff range, and then I can see this huge expanse of water. It sort of is unfolding as I move forward. It's very peaceful. The water is still. It usually is. And today, it's like a massive reflective pool. It reminds me of the pool that my daughter built for one of her art exhibitions. It represented the gateway to another dimension, and it was an extremely powerful display. We are going down to the sand. We descend slowly this time. As we get closer, the sand turns black, and then it almost seems not to be there. We are continuing to descend. We're descending into darkness. It's very peaceful, very peaceful. I can't see the mighty ones, but I know that they're with me. The Archangel Raphael stayed behind on the cliff this time, but the other three are with me. We walk together through the darkness. At the moment, I only perceive our movement. There is no sound, just stillness. I feel a presence or consciousness in this darkness, but I can't tell if we're walking through the consciousness of a being or if there are beings with consciousness or of consciousness that exist within this space. Suddenly, I find myself back at the cave, which doesn't faze me. I've learned to just expect and accept these things. I go and I change. I look at my belt and notice there are many, many keys on it, more than I remember before. I bow to the archangels and I pass through the curtain. The goddesses are there and I greet them and I bow to them as well. It's very dark in the cave. I'm going to ask why. The goddess Mary says, "You do not need the light to see, for the light resides within you. The light that you require to see resides within you. It is this light that you must learn to rely upon, to turn to be guided by. Look not externally for that which lies within you already. The darkness is a place of peace. It is also a place of trust. For within the darkness you must trust. For without trust there can only be fear. Without trust there can only be doubt. Without trust, fearful speculations, illusions, and delusions present themselves as truth when they are only falsehoods. You see that you are calm within the darkness, and yet you still seek the light externally from yourself to illuminate your path, when your path is illuminated from the light within you. This is your lesson. It is here your work lies. Go within. I'm turning my attention within myself more. I see the light. I feel it. I call upon it. And now I can see. I see the cave and I see the goddesses quite clearly, but it's not in the way I'm used to seeing them. They don't seem as huge or as mighty. I don't know how to explain it. The goddess Hecate helps me to understand that the reason I'm perceiving them in a different way is because I'm viewing them using the light within. And because of this, I'm perceiving that we are equal through our oneness. I am seeing them through the prism of oneness, and this changes my perspective. The goddess Hecate says, "Observe. All of the candles in the cave have just lit themselves, and now the goddesses stand before me, and they're huge as usual. I mean, they are huge and mighty. Whereas before, they were very similar to me in my perception of them as I looked at them through the prism of oneness." The goddess Hecate asks, "Do you perceive or do you project?" This is a rhetorical question that I'm supposed to ponder. Which is the representation of truth? These things you must consider, for there is great truth that lies within this question. The goddess Aletheia says, "What is the difference between the light external and the light internal? If there is a difference, what is the purpose? Why do both exist?" Do both exist? Why does your perception change as you alter your focus from one to the other? These are important questions, for much is to be learned within the answers you will discover. Does one allow for more projection? Does one allow for the manipulation of the reality that is presented to you? For our energies have not changed, and yet your perception of our energies has. You see us now in both forms. What is the purpose? This you must ponder, and we will speak more of it. I bow to the goddesses because it's time to go. I pass through the curtain of energy, and the archangels are there. I change and we walk along the sand. The sand is white, mixed with multiple colors as usual. It all looks as it normally does. The Archangel Raphael is at the top of the cliff, and we rise up to her. I turn and wave to the goddesses in thanks, and we turn and walk away. April the 17th, 2024. As I continue my internal work and looking in the hidden deep corners of myself and my thoughts, I find things that are not compatible or reflective of my true self, and then I have to face them head on and heal them. The goddess Aletheia is speaking to me about my most recent discovery. She says, And so you have found truth within yourself of that which you are not proud. And yet you did not shrink from them, you did not look away. For truth is what you seek, and truth is what you found. Understand that these are shadows. Like shadows, there is no substance to them, for they themselves are not truth. Truth lies beyond the shadow, and so you must position yourself so that you may uncover truth that lies beyond the shadow, so that the shadow may no longer be cast. But the shadow has significance, for the shadow is the gateway to that which lies beyond it. It is the breadcrumb that leads to the path of discovery. Some ignore the shadow. Some see only the shadow. Only a few look beyond it. Only a few reposition themselves in order to see truth, so that what exists beyond the shadow is exposed and can be considered. What is truth, child? This you know, but will you speak it? Yes, I do know. Oh, also, I owe you an answer on something, but I don't remember what I was supposed to think about. So I'll go back and look at my notes and consider what you asked me about, and then I'll come back and answer you. The goddess Aletheia said, this would be wise. The god Gnosis steps forward. He says, step by step. It is with small steps that you walk along your path of the knowledge of self. Why do you meander when you know the truth that lives within you already? This you must ask yourself. Is it fear? Fear that what you believe is truth is not what you will find? Or is it adherence to an idea that you must only take one step at a time, slowly walking the path inward? A belief in a process that others have dictated. Is this process necessary in truth, or is it unnecessary? Is the process of walking the path of the knowledge of self the same for all? Or is your meandering merely a product of your own fears? This you must ponder. This you must ask yourself. I hadn't really thought about it before you just said this, but I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a fear that I can't get to it, or that I'll fail to find it. And it's also a belief that I can only get to it if I take little steps at a time. I don't know exactly where that belief came from, but I do think it's a pretty common idea. The god Gnosis says, these ideas only have power when you give power to them through your belief in them and through your fear that there is only one way. These processes only have merit if you believe them to have merit. You must ask yourself, if you discard these ideas, would you still tarry? Would you still place obstacles upon your path? This you must consider. For if you fear that the truth within you is not truth, then you will never reach your destination, for fear will stop you. Fear will divert you. You would give your own power over to fear, even though in truth fear does not exist. Fear is a creation of your own mind and of the minds of others. This you know. This you know well. Speak the truth that lies within. Truth that you know so well within your own heart. There is no need for fear. It is time for divination. This you also already know. And today you must ponder the questions the goddess has asked you, for you have delayed much in this. I will. Thank you. April 18th, 2024. I thought that I was going to go to Hecate's cave to speak with the three goddesses, but I find myself somewhere else, and I can feel the presence of the Watcher, the Wise One. I feel that I'm in a place I think it's a liminal space. The goddess Hecate and the Watcher are there, side by side. I sense that the other two goddesses are in the cave, waiting. I'm with the mighty ones as well, and we're walking towards the goddess Hecate and the Watcher. They are like mountains today. They are huge. I'm being told by them, look from within. I can see two different scenes as I go back and forth. One is a pretty dramatic scene with a sense of shapes and scenery. It's quite dark, but I can clearly see the goddess Hecate and the Watcher, and they are huge. As I said before, like mountains. There's sort of a dull glow that illuminates a bit and casts shadows. It's all very muted. But when I look from within, the scene is quite different. There's nothing dramatic about what I perceive. The goddess Hecate and the Watcher are normal size, and it's almost like the space that we're in is quite empty. It's just them, really. This is very interesting. It's just an empty space with them standing in it, and they are a normal size, versus the other very dramatic presentation where they're huge and they convey a great sense of great power. I'm going to approach them at the same time from both perspectives. They say, "Welcome, child." In the first dramatic scene, it's as if there is a distance between us. Their voices are quite deep and low, and their voices are filled with a sense of authority and power. There's a sense of awe and of separation, or a sharp distinction between myself and them. And there is a sense of raw and overwhelming power that could be dangerous to anyone who went up against them, if that makes any sense. A feeling that their power could be overwhelming, a sort of tread lightly kind of a vibe. And the other perspective is very different. It's just joyous. There is no sense of separation. I'm hugging them, and they're happy to see me. I'm overjoyed to see them. There is such a closeness here. The two perspectives are not incompatible. They are who they are. Who they are hasn't changed. My perspective of them has. My ability to interact with them is dictated by my perspective. I choose how I want to interact with them depending on my perspective. I'm enjoying the second one most. It makes my heart so happy. We're going to walk along my path through the second perspective. I will disconnect from the first one before we do. From the first perspective, before I disconnect, I bow to both of them and thank them for what they have shown me, and they both seem pleased. The other two goddesses are still in the cave. They are acknowledging me, and I am acknowledging them in return. I think that I'll be speaking with them later. Now I'm fully back in the second perspective. We're walking my path. Right now we're walking through an empty space. They are on either side of me. The space that we're walking in right now is a little bit reminiscent of my microverse as an empty soundstage that I had many years ago. It's just empty, waiting for me to create what I want or to accept the what is. There's no pressure to do either. There's not even a path. It's the beginning point. That's where I am. At the pause, the breath. The pause before a decision made. Before any path is chosen. That's where I am right now. This is a very special place. I feel comfortable here. I feel very relaxed. It's interesting because it is both a place of action and a place of inaction at the same time. I think that's part of what I'm learning, the inaction part, and being comfortable with that. Learning not to be so concerned with the action of a decision or a non-decision. Understanding this and accepting this brings a sense of peace, of relaxation, of allowing, of trust and faith. I would never have conceived of this place of being such a place of peace. I would have thought it to be a place of frenetic action with pressure to get things done, to get something done, to make decisions. But it's not. There's no sense of urgency here, which is also surprising. They say, "Let us walk together some more." They want to show me something. It's a universe. I don't know if it's our universe, but it is a universe, and it's quite beautiful, peaceful, so beautiful and quiet. And yet I know there is sound. It's peaceful, and yet I know that stars are exploding and imploding and things are crashing together. There's movement, but it's peaceful in that there is no urgency to do. It's existing as itself. and all the things that occur within it seem to just naturally occur, as they should be, as if a course was set and it's just following it. I guess that's the best way for me to explain it right now. It's like from the moment this universe came into being, the energy of its being and the way that it came into being was predetermined. What is happening within it is predetermined. That's what it feels like anyway, because it feels like it's a mathematical equation. So like, if ABC happens, then XYZ must happen. The previous step determines the step that follows. And it can all get traced back to the very beginning of this universe coming into being. It seems that there are variables within the calculation. I can see them, but I don't know how to explain them. These variables, well, it's like whatever or whoever triggered the creation of this universe already knows all of the variables and all of the outcomes, but still plays them out. I don't know why. And what I'm trying to understand is this really being played out, or is it just within the mind? Within the mind of something greater than we can imagine, which in a way would make us all figments of that imagination. Or is it that because we have been imagined, we've come into being in truth, and yet are still part of the One who created us? I am so aware of this beautiful universe. I have the Watcher and the goddess Hecate with me. The archangels are here as well, and I'm still acutely aware of the other two goddesses in the cave, who are also acutely aware of what I'm experiencing and perceiving. It's as if they're standing with me, but they're not. There is no separation in truth. I feel different in my being. I feel bigger, and I'm growing larger. As I grow larger and bigger, I leave that universe that I was in, and now I'm standing in a place that's sort of misty or cloudy, I guess. There is light here. Everyone else seems to have remained in that universe that I was just in. They're waiting. They see me, they're aware of me, and I'm aware of them. I hear in my mind, they're coming, and I can feel a being is coming who is one of many. The being is here now. He's dressed very simply, simple robes and just a belt that's made out of braided threads or twine, something like that. We're walking together through this mist. The mist is low hanging. It stays close to the ground. It's a very nice place. I feel that this may be a place of observation, not of judgment, but of observation and of learning. Ironically, of learning that which is already known. This being seems to be pleased with my understanding of this. It's a place that observes, or you could say records, the playing out of scenarios whose outcome are already known. Kind of like a scientist testing out a theory and recording all of the outcomes and confirming them over and over again. I wonder why it's necessary. Is the One looking for an unexpected outcome, or is there some need or benefit to playing out that which is already known to the One by having the energy do its dance? Is there a benefit, or is there a reason that compels the One to do this, or makes it necessary to do it? I don't know, and I don't think it's for me to learn right now. This being says to me, and yet you already know. You already know the answer lies within you. Every outcome, every possibility, even when there is no need. Within the One lies all the answers and all the knowledge already, and yet it seeks as we do. Even though there is no need, for all is within, and yet endless scenarios are played out. I apologize to this being. I say that I'm tired. It doesn't seem that I've done much, but my body is tired from it. The being says to me, come. I'm walking with him. I'm still aware of the Watcher, the goddess Hecate, and the archangels who are aware of me. And I'm still aware of the goddesses in the cave who are also aware of me. And we're still walking. It's interesting. As we walk, we move through this space, But the groups I'm talking about, the goddesses in the cave, the Watcher, the goddess Hecate, and the archangels, and the universe that I was just in, all of these things remain in the same place in terms of my awareness, even as I walk through this other space. And so there is movement at the same time as there is non-movement. It's hard to describe. I'm moving through this space while remaining aware of these others whose position to me within my awareness remains exactly the same despite my movement. It might be easier to say that I'm not getting any farther from them, no matter how much I move away from them. We are still walking, and now there are changes. The mist isn't changing, the light is changing. The perception of this place I'm in is changing. It's now a darker place. And he has changed too, to some degree. Where we are now is also the same kind of place, but I don't understand what the changes signify. I sense more fear here, not my own. I hear panicked voices and I see animals running scared. I hear soldiers shouting. Babies are crying. Children are crying. Frightened mothers and fathers screaming. This being is helping me to understand. The first place contained overviews of the outcomes. This place seems to be more of a place that captures the moment-to-moment experiences. So macrocosm versus microcosm. And what I'm observing here seems to be how fear plays out. Here, things are really nitty-gritty, specific, and visceral. So my perception of this place, of this area of the collection or this observation place, is that of the visceral fear of certain scenarios and experiences. I think it was because of the subject matter of fear that my perception changed the lighting in this environment. It didn't change in truth. My perception changed it because of what I was picking up in terms of the microcosm of the fear that is being observed here. This being is smiling, and now that I've had this realization, my perception has changed again. And with this, the space is reflecting that change. And now I feel joy. The joy of holding a baby, sunlight on your face, the beauty of wildflowers, receiving a gift, giving a gift, a kindness, forgiveness. And now that my perception has changed, I can see many within this space, many that we would call angels. This is my perspective, of course. The group are rising to meet me, and the goddesses from the cave are here now as well. They are all standing with me and around me. The goddess Hecate says, "You have learned much today, and yet you know not what you have learned." I'm very happy just standing here in this place with all of them. The Watcher says, "It is time that you assimilate that which you have learned and come to understand what you have experienced today." The goddess Hecate says, "As you think upon what you have experienced and learned today, think also upon your last lesson and the lesson before, the questions that were asked. Allow these lessons to come together, for it is meant to be so. Understanding will come forth from this." I wanted to clarify a little bit about the discussion of light and some other things that happened during this meditation. What the goddesses were talking about wasn't what we call our internal light, the soul, or our true self. Because, first of all, your true self is not light at all. It's just how we perceive truth, or the part of us that is the part of the all, the one. What they were talking about is the truth inside, and they were trying to show me that when you use the truth inside to perceive something, you perceive it differently than when you are disassociated from it and are only using your physical, perceptual equipment, your eyes and your mind, etc. And that's why they, the divine, other beings and energies, use the term light, because we use light in the physical world to see. So we associate light with truth, knowledge, discovery, etc. And so what the goddesses were trying to show me was that the physical light that exists outside of us in this physical world versus the quote-unquote light of truth or light that exists inside us, the truth of the one, the truth of the all. They were trying to show me the differences between them and why we and they refer to it as light. The light of truth is a knowing. The light outside is a perception. And the light outside is often deceptive. It can have truth in it, and it can, at times, be truth. But we can't know if it is truth or not unless we look within and use the quote-unquote light of truth that can only be found within us, because this truth has no distortions. So that's why they had me first look at them as I normally would, using my physical perception that allows my filters and my preconceived ideas to affect what is being presented to me. And under these circumstances, I perceive them as huge and powerful, as mighty beings who are separate and very different from me. But when I perceived them through the truth within, my perception of them was very different. They were my size, and while they were spectacular and amazing in their own way, it was made clear to me that we all are. That equality of amazingness was felt. We look outside ourselves and around ourselves in this physical world for knowledge and for understanding, but we can't gain this from the physical world. The physical world gives us clues because the physical world is an expression of the one as well. It's a divine expression. It's an expression of that which lives within us and that will live forever, the eternal part of us. And so there are clues and reflections woven into the fabric of the physical world that are there to help us and to guide us. And they are everywhere, all around us. And that's something that I think the ancients knew so well, and the indigenous peoples of the world have always understood. And they found meaning and communication from the divine through the natural world around them, whether it would be birds or cloud formations or the moon. The truth of the one is woven into the fabric of our reality and exists within all that exists. To understand the meaning and the clues, we must go within. But we have to notice these things. We have to contemplate what they are and what they mean by going within. Mother Earth and all that exists on her, within her, and because of her are all an expression of divine energy. And so everything contains a spark of the one and reflects that truth through itself. It's just up to us to notice and to find the truth. The external provides hints to that which exists internally. But what I really wanted to mention about the term light as it was used in the recording, because, as I said, I don't think it's clear, is that in the recording where there is this discussion about light, it's not light as we think of it. It's not light versus darkness. But because we use light to see in our world, and because we associate light with the divine, with heaven, with God, the source, you can choose whatever word or description you would like. But it's always with us, it's always light, 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 light. And so that's the term that the divine and energetic beings and interdimensional beings use with us, because we won't understand otherwise, and we associate fear and negative things with darkness. But when they speak of the light within, they speak of the truth of the one, where there is no separation between light and darkness. There is only truth. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you found lots of interesting things inside of it, maybe some thought-provoking things, and I hope that you will join me for my next episode. And until then, have a great day.